We have government officials speaking up as well and condemning it. But still, it continues. So if the government has also had enough of SARS brutality, how are they not able to stop it? Here's our big hard fact for today. The federal government has taken SARS off the streets or promised to reform them 4 times in the last 5 years. In 2015, 2018, 2019, and this weekend. The federal government has taken SARS off the streets or promised to reform them 4 times in the last 5 years. In 2015, in 2018, 2019, and this weekend. And yet, we still have SARS allegedly harassing Nigerians. I say still because we're even getting reports of it happening today. 1 day after the IG took them off the streets. If you go on Twitter, you still are going to see multiple pictures taken today of SARS on the streets in various cities, Benin, Port Harcourt, Lagos. During the big weekend, I gave you stories of people allegedly attacked by SARS yesterday and today. So it seems to be ongoing. Now, speaking of personal stories, I've been telling you since we started today's show that I'm going to have 2 guests who experienced their own harassment at the hands of operatives. I have 2 men who were victimized by SARS operatives last month. They graciously agreed to come and tell us their story right here on Hard Facts. My first guest is Tobe. Welcome to Hard Facts.
Thank you very much.
And my second guest is Chidera. Chidera, welcome to Hard Facts.
Thank you very much.
If you are watching on Facebook, Nigeria Info 99.3 is the page. YouTube, Nigeria Info FM Lagos. I want to hear from you as well. I want to hear your SARS story. Have you ever been stopped by SARS? Where were you harassed? When did it happen? Why did it happen? Do you even know? What did they do? What did they want? Were you extorted? Were they wearing uniforms? Was there a way to identify them? Why do you think they keep getting banned from the streets only to return? And what do you think should be the permanent solution to this problem? Now, Tobe, you guys were together when this incident happened, right?
Yes.
Tell us how it all started.
So it started when we booked the ride from Okota going to Yaba to pick up some deliveries that we had to do for Daddy the brand. That's a clothing brand. When we got stopped around the Canopy area just right before Tejo Show Markets by ununiformed men who claimed to be SARS. And after further investigation of me asking them questions or at least showing me a proof of ID to actually be sure that SARS, they refused to show me anything. Then my friend was sleeping in the car, that is Chidera. So when I turned around to wake him up, I noticed that the boat's driver had opened the door. And I looked at him and asked him, why did you open the door? Because this guy showed no ID or proof of being SARS. They're all in like mufti, like casual wear. So how are you sure these guys are actually SARS? He acted like he didn't hear me. Like he just kept quiet and just kept looking straight. The men got in, one sat in front and one sat at the back. Then the one in front told the Uber guy, the boat driver, to keep driving. That is Mr. Adeleke. Told him to keep driving. And we got towards Mutala Mohammed Way. That's along Methodist High School. So we parked on a BRT bus park. Then he asked for our phones. Asked us to give him our phones, and we complied because I didn't want the matter to escalate like that. Because this
the
guy,
SARS operative.
Yeah. Who didn't actually show us any proof of ID to actually be SARS. After giving him our phones, he went through our phones, checked everything. He saw my business website. He saw my he checked my WhatsApp messages.
What do you do?
I own a brand. I'm the CEO and founder of Daddy the brand. That's a clothing brand. So after checking our phones, he found nothing. He kept checking. He went through our WhatsApp and he started on the search bar for WhatsApp. He started typing dollars, clients, picker, checkers, and like the dollar sign itself. And I asked him why he was doing that, and he just acted like, I wasn't talking to him. Then he went through my friend's phone, and my friend has properties on his phone because like he's a realtor. Like he deals with properties and he has like different houses and transactions on his phone.
I see.
So after checking them, I asked him, why would you at a young age be having such properties on your phone, and why would you have such transactions on your phone? He trying to explain to the man who claimed to be a SARS officer just went on deaf ears because he wasn't listening. Then he grabbed him by his shirt and told him to get down from the car and get into the bus behind us. And this bus had no plate number, no markings, nothing. So you can't exactly be sure this guy's actually SARS or they're actually kidnappers. Then he checked my phone. Then, unluckily, he found my PayPal, which is my online payment for my website. In case people want to order things on my website, they can pay online. And he said, also I'm doing his story. I'm a fraudster. I'm using my PayPal to scam people. I should tell him the truth or he's going to take me up. Then I asked him, you're actually looking at my PayPal. You're seeing the transaction of my brand with the shirts people are ordering and the trousers they are ordering. So why are you trying to paint me as the bad guy? Then he said, okay, you get done and join him in the bus, which I refused. Like, the video that was posted online was not even the start. That's actually the end part when they dragged me back into the car.
Oh, that was you they were dragging?
Yeah, I was one dragging back into the car.
If you're watching on Facebook right now, you're currently seeing that video where they're trying to shove him into a blue Corolla. That was a Corolla, yes?
It's a black Corolla.
A black Corolla, yeah. Okay, so if you're watching on Facebook, you're currently taking a look at that footage. I mean, imagine just being in a taxi and being stopped by a gunman and, you're sleeping. What happened when you woke up and saw the commotion?
I was in utter shock. I was coming from a very busy day the previous day, so I was tired. And we got to Tejo show, which, if I'm precise, it was about our destination where we were supposed to end the trip. Only for Tobe to wake me up and then tell me there are SARS guys outside. I didn't even understand. I just woke up and looked out the window of the
vehicle
passenger side where he was, and then saw that they had tapped. He had already wind down his glass, and then they asked me, "What's your name?" I said, "My name is Chidera." And they said, "What state are you from?" I said, "Anambra." And then, before I could even ask any questions or anything, they just forced their way into the car. From what I understand, the car doors on that side were already open. So they just came in and then instructed the driver to keep driving up until when the Adekunle bus stop at Yaba. That was where they told the driver to park. At the time, they were going through our phones. I tried explaining that I deal with properties. I'm a realtor. I get shortlets, different kind of apartments for people. But he didn't exactly let me explain. And I've seen videos of how that when they're dealing with people and then how that they beat people up. And so the minute he dragged my shirt, I'm like, don't worry, since we're going to a police station, I'll just comply. I opened the door myself and I walked to the bus behind us, which instructed with his instructions.
Were you afraid?
I was afraid, yes.
But you opened the door and you walked to the bus.
Yes, I was convinced at the time that regardless, I wasn't exactly processing as much thought at the time of whether or not they could be real or fake. But like, what occurred to me at the time was the gun in front. There was a guy beside the driver holding a gun, and for what I understand, a lot of times when people get shot, the most that happens is that they trend, nothing really happens. So I didn't exactly want that to be my case. So I rather just comply than I come up one day or come up in this news one time and then they shot me or whatnot. So I just walked into the car. When I was in the bus, they tried to force him into the bus and then he refused, and then we resorted to them beating him up. I tried to calm down and intervene and be like, he's just scared. You guys should just be calm. I can talk to him myself to come inside the bus and then sit down with me. But like, before I could I was at the bus door, the entrance to the bus, when I was held by my trouser and shoved back inside the bus. And then I fell down, and what I heard was a cock. Like, the guy cocked the gun and then said, if you move again, you will die first. So I was forced to sit down inside the bus against my will while I just watched them beat him up. And then, since they couldn't exactly drive him or force him into the bus, they forced him back into the car. At the time, we had created scenes, we were shouting. The video you see online was towards the end. We had actually created as much scene as possible, thinking people would come to our aid and gather and then think, okay, just come and help us out.
Did they give you a reason for why they wanted you to enter the bus?
Because they didn't give me as much reason as would regard or...
What did they say? What was the small thing they said?
For the most part, he went through my phone and saw properties. He didn't let me explain
anything.
Yes.
Just said. When you were fighting them, Toby, what were you thinking?
I was thinking my life is on the line. It's either I fight them or these guys take me somewhere and kill me.
Were you not worried that in the middle of fighting them, they could have killed you?
I wasn't processing at that time. My mind was just to get away from these guys.
My God. Lagos, I want to hear your own SARS story. This story that you're hearing from Tobe and Chidera, does it sound familiar? Have you been through something similar? Have you ever been stopped by SARS? Were you harassed? Were you extorted? Why do you think they keep getting banned from the streets only to return? What do you think the permanent solution to this problem is? We're going to come back to Tobe and Chidera in a bit, but let me take 2 or 3 of your calls. 0700-993-993-993. If you're watching online, you can leave us your thoughts on Facebook, Nigeria Info 99.3. You can also share your thoughts with me via WhatsApp. WhatsApp is 080 959 75805. Tweet at us at Nigeria Info FM, and definitely share your thoughts on Facebook, Nigeria Info 99.3. Ola is in Lekki. Hello, Ola. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank you for sharing those stories. I had a bad experience with them.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm in my early 40s, and I consider myself at least that I would not be harassed in such a way. But it happened during the lockdown, really. So I've never been harassed that way. I was visibly shaking. I'm coming from work. I'm in the banking industry. Yeah. So I was coming from work.
Okay.
Yeah. I was coming from work, and I needed to drop one of my colleagues, who happens to be. So we had some special clearance that time that we are giving, and all the police officers, So once I show them, I'll be let off. So what happened that day was I went to drop my friend in one of the estates around here.
Okay.
So on my way back, I parked there, but on my way back, I saw some people standing on the road. I couldn't process it. I saw a guy in mufti. He stopped me. The first thing was, I was like, who is this one standing on the road? And the next thing, I saw other cars in a silver Sienna, Toyota Sienna, unmarked, no plate number, nothing. Then I saw this guy wearing a black t-shirt and black trousers. Immediately I processed them. These are South guys. These are the guys that they've been talking about. So the guy asked me, where I'm coming from. I said, I'm coming from work. He said, is that your work? I said, that's not my work, obviously. Somebody, one of my friend lives there. And I'm here to drop my friend and to be on my way. He said, don't you know that this is a lockdown sign? I said, okay, even if you are checking lockdown, they are checking lockdown on the express, not in this corner. He said, who am I to talk to him? So I noticed his donation. I noticed that he's a Yoruba guy. I started talking to him in Yoruba. He's out there. How will I talk to him? Am I his mate? And I told him in Yoruba, I said, if not for this thing, I'm not your mate. And one of them said, okay, hey, mind your tone. The next thing this guy said, let me have your phone. I said, you cannot have my phone. No matter what you do, you cannot have my phone. Let me have your wallet. One of them said, you are dragging things. You are dragging things. So what I noticed was the few people that were around, they started moving away. And I found myself in the midst of these guys. And I was like, what's going on here? Ordinarily, I would have talked myself out of this. But the more I tried, the more I get into it. And the next thing, this guy went into my car, was just throwing things around. I'm looking for something. Can't this person something? He has something. I said, what are you looking for? What are you possibly looking for? The other guy said, wait. You have something there. He opened my glove compartment, my handrest, my boots, my bag, my everything. My papers were just throwing things around. And the other guy was saying, well, you just have to let him. And I said, this is totally uncalled for. What are you looking for? What are you possibly looking for? You see my ID card? I went for a bank. So I can imagine myself that I feel that, I have all these guys, I have my bag, I have my national ID card, I have everything that you say, okay, this guy had a vision. And I was visibly harassed. I was saying that, okay, this is the estate that my friend stays. Let me go back and call this guy. Let me use my phone. The other guy said, you don't need to call, you don't need to do this thing. And, they were talking like in a soft manner, but I could see the threat there. Do you understand? Somebody's trying to talk to you in a soft manner, but you will see that he's actually saying that, oh boy, if it go beyond this, something else will happen. And I was visibly shaking. I never been harassed now in my life. And I was like, okay, if I could be this harassed, if I could be this tormented by these guys.
As old as you are, how much is happening to younger men,
Yes, how much will happen to a guy that does not have any form of identification or any form of thing that can say, oh, this is I go home. I couldn't tell my wife. It took me 2 days to open up because I was beaten like somebody beat me. I can tell you that the experience is traumatizing. And like something really needs to be done. These guys operate like no man business. What they did, the next thing they did, immediately I entered my car. I saw them, all of them, they entered their car and zoom off. No plate number, no inscription on the car, no name tag, nothing. Who do I report to? That's the way they operate.
Ola, thank you so much for calling to share your story with us. We'll take one more call and go back to Toby and Chidera. Hello, thanks for calling. Turn your radio off now. Hello? Sorry about that. If you can, call us back. We'll take one final call. Hello? Okay, that person's not there. So let's talk to Oluwafemi. Oluwafemi, hello. Thanks for calling us. Hello? Oluwafemi, hello.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm doing good. How about you?
Very well. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I had experiences with them, the police officers in perspective now, on my way to Ado Ekiti.
Okay.
Like, we got to Ado, so they stopped the bus, so they asked me and some other guys to come down. Are you with me? So they asked me and some other guys to come down from the car we boarded down to, it's a public transport though. So we came down, okay, the tall guy, he asked for the phone of two guys next to me. They gave their phone to him. So he asked me, okay, young man, give me your phone. I was like, give me my phone, okay. I asked him that, what do you want to see my phone for? He said he wants to check cybercrime. I was like, cybercrime? You didn't even ask me to send you a movie or a song or something. You're asking me to check cybercrime. He saw how fierce I was. I was like, I'm not going to give you my phone. Like, under the law, it's not mandated for me to give you my phone without a warrant. This one, he said that, I don't buy market today. So he called their boss. So their boss was then a light blue. I think it was the guy there. So the guy came and a young man, what's your name? What do you do? I told him, I was like, I have to give my phone to them. That they're taking for cybercrime. Like, I told you that, look, you're not mandated to ask for people's phone under the law. That what you're doing is total nonsense. We argued back and forth. I didn't give my phone to him. I had to call Yemi Fash. That was the guy you guys had a talk show with yesterday on the station. So it was he that spoke to him. So he took my phone, speaking to Yemi Fash. He went straight down to the bush. He removed the phone from speaker to have a conversation with him, telling him that I lied to him. I did this, I did that. Yemi Fash talked to him. So he later gave me my phone and he told me to go that I should stop being rude. So I told him that, look, that what I'm doing here, I'm enforcing my fundamental human rights as a Nigerian. So I told the other guys in the car that next time, they shouldn't give their phone to them. I think those ones were scared, but they didn't check my phone. The other one was like, I wasted that time, that I should have given my phone to them. I told her that, look, I'm doing this for you and other people who are not here because some other time they will have the effrontery to stop other buses. And 3 days later, I went back to Ado. I met the same thing. After our division, police headquarters, that DPO was there. He sat down there, close to the station. Me and four other guys in the bus, they stopped us. We showed them madness that day. We showed all of them. They had to bring backup officers to come and stop us that we are proving strong, that we could not give our phone to them, that who are with this and that. We showed them shaggy that day. So they allow us to go. Maybe they were somehow civil to allow us to go. But so today, I still have a phobia for police. There's a time I wanted to enter a taxi with them in Akure, and I couldn't enter because I was scared of what the guy was going to do. But you just have to get them off the road because they carry out all sorts of insurance activities. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Oluwafemi, for calling. I appreciate it. Tobe, what was your driver doing throughout all of this? You know, you were getting beat up, you were being shoved into a bus, Chidera. What was the driver doing?
Well, he was just observing. He didn't say a word. Even when they entered the car, when they dragged me out, when they put me back inside the car, or when they were hitting me inside the car, he said nothing. He was just driving. So I don't know whether that was out of fear or he had something to do with it. I don't know.
Did they talk to him, the SARS operatives? Did they talk to the driver? Did they say anything to him? Did they?
No. For the most part, when we were inside the car, no. But I can't say because there was a time when, there's a part in the story where they took me out of the car, put me back inside the bus. And apparently, I had there was one police officer with him inside the car, and they drove for a while. So I don't know what kind of discussion they had between themselves at that time because I wasn't there.
Before the show, I was on Twitter, and a lot of people who have had running with SARS while in a hailed ride are saying that they think that drivers and SARS are in cahoots. Did you get that feeling with your own driver? Did you get the feeling that he was working with the operatives?
Well, he raised a lot of red flags, especially after the whole incident happened. And when I tried calling him to get my stuffs, and I found out that he had blocked my number, he wasn't responding to me. Up until like yesterday, when apparently he saw the tweet that had gone viral, and he called me trying to settle things, and I'm like, "Why are you even calling me?"
What does settle things mean?
That's how I don't know. Then I was with my lawyer at the time.
Okay.
So my lawyer just spoke to him, and I didn't know how to end it from there.
Okay, I see. How did this all end? So the last that you've told us is that they shoved you into the bus, but took you back into the taxi?
Into the boat ride.
Okay. So did they eventually take both of you to the station?
No. They drove us to some bridge. Where from that bridge you can see this National Theatre, where as they parked by the side. I was in the boat ride while my friend was in the bus right in front of us. So they threatened me there and told me, okay, this location where we are now, we're going to bring you down from this car and put you inside the bus, and if you try to scream for help or call out attention again or do the same thing you just did back in Yaba, we're going to shoot you here and throw your body down in that canal and dispose your phone, and no one's going to know you're even with us at all. Then my friend came up to me, like tried to calm me down, tried to plead with the SARS officers that were in the car with me. That's when they put the handcuffs on me and dragged me out of the car.
They put handcuffs on you?
Yeah. And dragged me out of the car and into the bus, where they later handcuffed my hand to the window so I wouldn't try to escape from the bus. Like the whole thing was just... And up to now, I still do not even know the crime that I committed. After even putting us in the bus, after putting me and my friend back into the bus, we drove towards Apapa side. I remember that's where we were, where we parked by some container. You know when you get into Apapa, you know you're in Apapa where you sell containers and trucks. So we parked by some container where they
told us to pay the boat guy. They instructed that we must pay the boat guy, and then he came over with his phone and then showed us the trip had ended at 2:07, and then they made us give him the money
in cash.
On the spot in cash.
They refused to let us transfer to him. Like, you know, when you order a ride and when he wants to end the ride, he's supposed to show you then slide it. He just brought the phone and showed us, oh, this is your price.
Like the question about this is, if they insinuated that we were criminals or whatnot, they didn't interrogate the driver throughout the whole incident.
They asked him nothing.
Lagos, if you just joined the show, you're listening to Hard Facts on 99.3 Nigeria Info. Who can get SARS under control? I'm asking that question because over and over, when Nigerians get very frustrated and start shouting about SARS brutality, we have government officials joining the conversation. The Minister for Youth and Sports also joined the conversation this time around. Vice President is saying, oh, this is abysmal. Atiku Abubakar saying, this is terrible. Everybody's coming forward. This is terrible. This is so bad. Well, who can get SARS under control? Tobe and Chidera experienced a horrific thing at the hands of SARS operatives, and they're sharing their personal story with us here on Hard Facts. We'll talk to them some more after the break. I'm Sandra Ezekwesili. Don't go away.
This is Hard Facts. Welcome back to Hard Facts with Sandra Ezekwesili.
It's 28 minutes past 5, Lagos. I am Sandra Ezekwesili. I've got Tobe and Chidera in the studio with me. They experienced a horrid thing at the hands of operatives of SARS, a special anti-robbery squad, on the 25th of September 2020. Tobe, how have you been since that experience? Did it have a toll on your mental health, or are you just good?
Actually, it did. Like, it had left a dent in me. Now I just have like this PTSD when I see this mini bus and men inside the bus. I'm just like, oh, are these guys the ones again? I just like try to leave that environment because they carry. If you could be a legal worker or illegal, anybody, they're going to carry you. So whenever I just see them like this, I just have this fear in me that this kind of thing might happen again. So I just like leave that environment before something else happens.
Chidera, while Tobe was chained to the window of the bus, what was happening with you?
Well, for the most part, I was trying to calm him down and tell him, you know what, let's just calm down. At the time, I thought we were going to a police station. So while we were inside the bus, they didn't let us have our phones. So I just figured when we get to a police station, for the most part, we'll be allowed to call somebody. And then most likely, everything will come to an end until we kept driving further and further and further. At this time, we got to a papa where they instructed us to pay the boat driver. Yeah, so we paid him and then we kept going deep. Like, at this point, I couldn't exactly see any commuters again. Just trailers and containers. There weren't a lot. Like, if you're on a normal road or major road, you'll find people passing or majorly just Corollas, normal Corollas, people just going somewhere. But we were just seeing just trailers. And then I whispered to David and I told him, I said, we're in a papa right now.
Okay.
And then they just kept making threats about how they'll make us suffer. The guy in front, who is their boss, if you watch the video at the end, he was wearing the very dark blue shirt with jeans.
I couldn't watch the video. I it's very easy to traumatize me, so I stayed away from that video. Yeah. But if you're watching the live stream at the moment, we're playing the video for you. Nigeria Info 99.3. Trigger warning. Let me just say. So if you're like me and you can't watch things that trigger you, please don't watch it. But if you can stomach it, go ahead and watch Facebook Nigeria Info 99.3, YouTube Nigeria Info FM. So back to the boss you were telling me about, Chidera.
Yeah, so like he was, at the time when we got to the bridge, he was making threats on our way to the bridge about how that he'll make us suffer, he'll take us to the cell, we won't see the light of day till Monday. That day was a Friday. And then by Monday, our faces and pictures, names will come out on newspapers as fraudsters, that he will make sure he paints our images black and whatnot. So like I just kept begging now, like my friend didn't exactly need all this torture you guys are going to give to him. He was just scared and acted out of what you guys were up to do. We see what you guys do online, so it's only natural to react the way. Yes. So he said, hey, you that is inside the bus, have we touched you? I'm said, your guy here just threatened to shoot me. That's why I'm still sitting still. You understand? So like, I didn't exactly understand. I just kept begging him. And then we got to the bridge. He said, you have to come down and go and meet Tobe and calm him down so he can come into this bus. We don't want him in the boat ride.
Wait, so hold on. So it became a convoy?
Yes, it became a convoy.
So the boat ride was in front and the bus was behind?
The bus was in front. The boat ride was behind. Yes.
Was somebody in the boat ride with Tobe?
Yes, three of them. One in front. Tobe was sitting at the back, in the middle. One at the set, one at his sides, left and right. So there were three with him. Tobe in the middle, at the back, and then the driver. So
let's not even begin to talk about social distancing and COVID-19. That's a different conversation.
They were even wearing face masks for the most part.
And so they stopped on the bridge and they told you to come out of the bus and go and beg your friend.
Yes. So I had to go there and beg him. At the time, when I got to the boat ride, Tobe himself had already started begging them because he already was afraid for the fact that they could put him back inside the boat ride. We were already at their mercy. You understand? So when I got there with their boss, he took advantage of the situation, knowing Tobe was now very afraid and started making more threats. I had to kneel down, started begging him, and then he told me to stand up. I was making a scene. Just talk to your friend to go inside the bus. And I told Tobe, just calm down, follow me, let's go inside this bus. We're going to a police station last. So he came down. And then he walked with me to the bus, and then that was where they handcuffed him.
At any point, did they tell you their names, the names of the officers?
They didn't say it throughout.
They didn't say their names. They didn't have any
Yes.
ID. They didn't identify themselves
Yeah,
by
but
name.
if I'm going to give you a description, I'll say they are from Middle Belt, because they were not speaking Igbo, Yoruba, or Hausa. They were speaking. I go to school in Uniben,
Okay.
in Edo, so
Okay.
like they were speaking around that region.
I see.
Yeah.
I see. Okay. Did you eventually go to the station? Did you eventually get to the station?
No, we did not.
So
When
you-
we got to our papa, after they instructed us to pay the boat guy, they kept taking us further and further and further till
In
I
their
lost-
bus. So
yes,
you
in their
paid off
bus.
the bolt left.
Yes.
You were now in their bus.
Yes, me and Towe. So we just kept going. And then the guy at the back who sat with us, because we were three at the back, me, Towe, and the guy, one of them, who was on Mufti too. So he said, you know what? If you guys want to go scot-free, just bring 1 million. And then I said, Oga, I don't know what you found inside my phone. Because on a norm, I lock my phone, I lock my apps, because I don't want people with the assumption that I have a lot of money from the transactions that I carry out on my phone. So him seeing that already would give him the impression that we have a lot of money. And then when he asked for 1 million, I said, we don't have that kind of money. He said, what do you mean? You guys are big boys. You understand? And then I said, Tobe kept asking him, even if I'm even going to pay you, what did I even do? You understand? So we kept making conversations around how that we couldn't exactly pay that sum. And then we kept negotiating, or we kept telling him how that we didn't have that money until he brought it down to 500,000. And then he said, let's just have me, and we'll manage 500,000 if you guys can bring it.
We'll manage.
We'll manage it. So we kept telling, we don't have this sum. You understand? And then at this point, they had a guy in front who had already who was part of people who forced to be inside the car, kept making threats about how that if Tobe should open his mouth and talk again, that he's going to slap him. You understand? So Tobe was forced to keep quiet while I kept negotiating our release. And then we kept negotiating. Then he reduced it to 400. And I said at this point, you know what? I don't even know where we are again. And at this time, we had driven for practically almost 2 hours. So it was certain that we were not going to any police station. This guy just wanted money. And I didn't want a situation where they drive us to an unknown place. Maybe they come out that we're missing, but these guys actually shot us and dumped our body somewhere. Because Tobe gave me the information that they had threatened to throw him off the bridge. So, and then also adding that to the fact that they had threatened to shoot me.
And
I just
they
put 1 or
cocked a
2.
gun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just put 1 or 2 together and be like, come on, let's just negotiate for our lives first. And then when the guy got to like 400K, I told him, sir, this is what it is. I have just 40,000 in my account. And let me go. It's actually monies for clients who have ordered clothes. Let me go and I'll give you this money. You understand? So he now said, 40K. What am I going to use 40K to do?
Excuse me?
Then he now said, okay, you know what? 400,000 is the least we can take. And then I said, we still don't have that kind of money. That was when they now asked Tobe for his account balance. And then Tobe told them he had roughly close to 300,000 in his account, which was for business and partly for his dad. So I kept negotiating. And then he now asked me, I kept negotiating, and he said 400,000 was the last. And then he said, we'll have to call somebody to complete the sum of whatever we can round up at. He has to take 400,000 from us.
So he insisted on the 400,000,
Yes,
even though
sir.
you said that what was left in your own account was 40,000.
Yes. So then when he kept saying it, and then I just shut up at the point where he said, we have to call somebody, because then I know my first conversation with calling anybody won't be to give me money. I know myself. I'm with SARS. We're taking us somewhere we don't know. They'll have to speak with them, conversations like that. But then keeping quiet for about like 30 minutes of them still driving, conversations around giving us our phone to make any phone calls didn't come up. And then he said 250 is the last. If you can bring 250, I'll talk to my boss so we can manage it. I'm like, and I had to whisper to Tobe at the time. I'm like, guy, I know this money will be hard for you to bring out. It's also hard for me. But like the most part is for us to walk out of your life. Don't even forget about your own. You understand? Once we get out of here, we can walk around it. We can raise the sum back. So, and I told Tobe, how much can you bring? I said, okay, 50 plus mine now, which was 90. I told him we can give you 90,000. You understand? Let's just walk out of here, please. So he said 90 is too small. 250k last. He wasn't even paying us more attention again. Then we got to this place where the road was like really, 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 really bad. It looked like there was a trailer coming, and then it looked like the trailer was going to fall or something. So like I didn't even know where we were at the time. So I just said, Toby, let's stop this thing up. Let's just make it a round figure for these guys. And then 100,000. And then I told him, he now said, 100,000. You know what? I'll talk to my Oga. Let's see if we can manage or walk around that. You understand? And then we kept driving again. This was for like another 10 or 20 minutes. And I asked him, if you've agreed to take money from us, where are we still going to? You understand? And then he said, this boy don't fuck up. We're going to police station. No more money again. After driving for a while again, he asked which one of you has an ATM card. And then I told him I have an ATM card. Toby said he wasn't with his own at the time. I think he didn't want to bring it out. You understand? So they forced him to make a transfer to me. He wasn't going through, and I put on my hotspot for him. He wasn't going through. And then Toby was forced to bring out his ATM card with the notion that I can't just give them just 40,000 since they had already refused. Some way, somehow, he had to bring out his ATM card.
Were you beating up for that? Because they caught you in a lie, so they beat you for hiding the ATM card to begin with?
Yes.
They beat you?
Because I refused to bring out my ATM card for them.
So, okay. You want to say something?
On these guys, they actually claim to be from SFU Division Ikoyi. And that's the station they actually claimed to be taking us to, but we never got there. We just drove around in circles till they took money from us.
So we got to, there's a part where I know very well. It was around mile 2. So we got to mile 2. And I told Toby, guy, we're in mile 2 now. And then we drove towards Sele Express just after the flyover bridge. They stopped the bus. The guy who was negotiating with me or for us or with us came down with the guy in front, which is their boss, and then they had a conversation behind the boss, of which I understand he was trying to convince his boss to take the money that we had to offer. And then they got back into the bus, and then we drove towards Yano Solo, and there was a Union Bank there. They stopped just before the Union Bank, and then told me to take Otobe's ATM card and my own and come down and withdraw the money. And I was escorted by another office. Yes, one of them in Mufti. But then when we came down, the boss in front noticed that there's a lot of crowd there, people trying to withdraw money and stuff. So he told us to go back inside. And then they started heading towards Oshodi. At this time, I figured I could help them out and make this thing easier because they didn't exactly know their way around. They didn't know where the closest bank was. So I told them, they were driving towards Oshodi, and I told them, there's no bank on this route. Just go into Mushin, climb the flyover bridge down to SOS.
You were telling your kidnapper how to help.
Yes. So like I told them, go into
it's not funny, but you have to laugh.
Yeah. So I had to tell them to go. They didn't even listen to me. They didn't pay me any attention. One of them was even like, who asked you? And then I said, okay, no, well, maybe they go. And then they kept driving towards Oshodi, and then they were forced to turn back, knowing that, or finding out that almost like there's no bank on this side. So on us turning back, I want to believe there was a POS machine inside the car, because turning back, the boss kept saying, why are we wasting all this time? POS machine no day inside this bus. All of them were just like, maybe go ATM, maybe go, or we go try Paga. So I don't know why they refused to bring it out or use it. But then we now entered inside Mushin, crossed the flyover bridge down to where you have that SOS orphanage home. And then on coming down, they cited the Paga place. And they said, okay, let's use this one. And then they blocked the road actually and forced me to come down, held Toby back inside the bus. I walked to the Paga place with the same guy who had escorted me to this thing before. And then when I sat down at the place, because I already told them that we wanted to get to 100,000, and they said, one guy said, okay, he's coming. He wanted to see how that he could rally up or get more funds to add up what they had, which was short of 100,000. And then while I sat down at their stall, I saw Zenith Bank facing me, and what occurred to me was, if we go to the bank, if I can convince them to go to the bank, just maybe the CCTV in the bank would picture them, should in case we build up a case. And while we were there, I told the officer that if we try to withdraw this money, these guys will collect service charge of maybe roughly around 2,000 or 3,000. So your money will be short because you're taking all the money inside my account. It's better we go to ATM and withdraw this thing. You understand? There's no, if you take 40,000 is what's left in my own. If you collect the money in my account, service charge will not be there. Your 40K will reduce because you will settle this girl that is here. You understand? Let's go to the bank. And the guy said, no, don't worry. Maybe see. Now, my officer I go follow and talk. You understand? Thankfully for me, when the guy who had gone to see how that he could get money came, I said, Mama, we don't have up to 100,000. I said, you see, maybe go ATM, go withdraw this thing. You understand? Then he escorted me to the ATM. Unknown to me, another person was even still coming. One of them had come down from the boss. And then I went towards the bank. He was dumb enough to get very close to the bank, but I didn't exactly make or couldn't exactly sight where the cameras were fixed. Yeah, but like I know he got close enough to the bank. And then I withdrew the money. And then I came out and I told them that this is the money. And then we went to the boss. They pushed me inside, collected the money from me and asked me if it was complete. I said, yes, it's complete. And then they came down from there, did a U-turn, and then dropped us very close to NAFDAC office.
Okay. All right, then. Lagos. You follow me to hear this story, Abby? 0700-993-993-993. WhatsApp is 080-959-75805. We've got Facebook, Nigeria Info 99.3. Let's hear your thoughts. On WhatsApp, we've got this person who says the masses should organize themselves under an aegis like SERAP and resist these vagabonds called SARS. Alfred from Ikorodu says, please, let's have the video that you are currently streaming. Well, go to the live stream and watch it. Good evening, Sandra. My name is Kelechi. I am fully convinced that the Bolt driver is their informant. Based on what I heard this evening from the victims and the mood of their driver throughout the whole thing, I'm convinced the driver is working with them. It's a pity. Toby is in Ikorodu. Toby, thank you for calling us.
Yeah. Good evening.
Good evening. Turn your radio off.
Okay, sorry about that.
Yes.
Good evening.
Go ahead.
My name is from Ikorodu. Okay, I'm actually a boat driver.
Okay,
and I've been listening to the whole story and all that, and how it happens. So sad it happens that way, but I can tell you for a fact, boat drivers had nothing to do with them. In fact, I hate them so much. There are so many times that they've stopped me several times with my passengers. In fact, there was even a small boy that was just coming from hospital. They harassed this guy. They started from even 1.5. And the sad thing is, they will carry, they were around Apapa. And when this guy make a call, they said they are at Egbeda. There is nothing you can use to trace them. There is no way, there is nothing. In fact, there are some times that even when they stop me, they will say, okay, I should end my trip, collect the money, and let these people go. And me, I should be going that, I should go and be doing my own work and leave them. They will just search, they will even search the car, they will search my car, search everywhere, search the boot, open the seat and everything, and maybe they are hiding something. Now, it's not like I just wanted to say that, one, boat drivers had nothing to do with them. In fact, we don't even like them. I hate them. If there is anything we can do about them stopping, if what they are actually saying is real. In fact, even as yesterday, they used me at around this Apapa area. They used me to stop a particular car at the back, a Lexus Jeep at the back of me. They asked me to stop. Now, they now went to harass the other person. Now, the person that was standing in front of my car was wearing a jacket, but was wearing a trouser, a last man trouser. Last man, the SARS are there. They were just together, but the jacket was wearing like all this, this bike, power bike jacket, but the last man trouser. Now they went into the car, and the guy refused, so he didn't want to open the car and all that. So the policeman that was not standing with me, because I was looking at the mirror, looking at the back, what was happening. Because I was asking him, why are you stopping me? Do you want to check my paper? Let me bring my paper out. Do you want to check anything? They just said, no, that is the person at the back. It was when they now cocked the gun. When they cocked the gun, that the guy had to now step outside. I said, they will just kill this guy. They didn't ask the guy anything. And that last man guy that was wearing last man trouser entered the Jeep, and he was the one that drive.
I don't know. There is something they do. They are just using it to make. They are making serious money.
Toby, thank you for calling me. Toby, Bolt put out a statement, and in the statement they put out, they seemed to be implying that SARS found incriminating stuff on your phone. Have you seen that statement?
I saw it yesterday, actually.
What do you think of that statement?
Honestly, I don't know, because I guess they are stooping so low to like lay false accusations on me just because they have seen the viral tweets after they have refused to respond to my text several times. I mean, like, this goes deeper than what it actually is, because they said they spoke to the driver, and I'm wondering who they actually spoke to, because I haven't even addressed this part I'm about to say now. Because there are actually two drivers. The person on the app was Adeleke, while the person that actually picked us up was Tunde Tayo. I actually got to know about this because on the day I didn't exactly see his face because he had the face mask on. But watching the videos that I saw online and I looked at the guy's pictures on the app, on the receipt, and this is a different person entirely. So like, who have they been talking to? Because the Tunde Tayo's guy is not, the Tunde Tayo is one that has the number on the app, but the picture and the name belongs to some other guy named Adeleke. So I'm like, who is giving these statements? You said both guys, because even in their statement, the first part they said unidentified SARS officers. So, and the third paragraph, they now said identified SARS officers. So how did they exactly identify them? They are claiming that the SARS officers, the supposed SARS officers, showed IDs. And I'm like, I was actually with you in the car. So when did they show IDs? I asked them several times, and he was there with me. So when did they show IDs? When did they show their names? So if they actually showed him an ID, where exactly are they from? Why didn't they state that out in their statement? Or not written there? So honestly, I think this is deeper than it is, and Boss is there. I think Boss is just trying to do damage control right now. That's why they put out that statement, because none of that is true.
What's next for both of you?
Well, right now we're just trying to make back the money that was taken from us.
I mean, we have our lives now, so try and make the money back. We rally round to get money to make the clothes that were ordered
People
for.
were paid. Okay. Toby and Chidera, thank you for talking to me on Hard Facts. I appreciate it. And I'm terribly sorry that you experienced what you did.
Thank you.
Being a young man in Nigeria is not a crime. And what you experienced is not something that you should experience. Do you have hope that SARS will be taking off the streets, considering that the president and the IG have waded into the situation? Toby?
I mean, this is not the first time they're taking them off. I mean, the guys, when they say SARS is like a unit, but I'm talking like the bad eggs are the ones wearing the uniform. So if they should take these guys off, these guys will like turn to daylight robbers. I mean, and SARS officers already have like connects with police people who are their friends. So I won't be surprised if you can actually get guns from them to carry out their activities. So like, I don't know. I think we just need to reform the whole police.
Yeah, that's what I think too. If you just say end SARS, it doesn't stop the fact that the police force has bad eggs, which cuts across just SARS. You understand? We see on a daily basis where the police force or persons in the police force and indulging extortion. You understand? It might not just be young men. We see it with bosses, we see it with keke marwas, we see it with bike people. So it cuts across the whole and entire police force. So if there's going to be a reform, it doesn't just have to do with SARS. It has to do with the entire force.
Police force.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. Lagos, I'll take one more call and then I'll give you a chance to win 10,000 naira on the show. 99.3, hello. Sorry about that. If you can, please call us back. 99.3. Hello. How are you?
Good evening, Sandra.
Good evening, sir. What's your name?
My name is Opeyemi.
Opeyemi, you've got 1 minute.
Okay. Apparently, I've heard all everyone have been saying, but I think there are a lot of things that we could have done to avert so many things. I have never been in such a terrible situation, but the situation I had been, I guess my posture had bailed me out in most instances. One thing, because I had a military background, there are certain things that military will rub off on you in terms of your style of haircut, in the way you dress. Now, if you see me, most people around, if you see me, even if I'm standing, my posture alone is to tell you that I am not the type of person you can mess up with. So we need to go about reorient ourselves. Perhaps because we did not undergo compulsory military training, that's why so many of us are falling victim of all of these things. Make friends. The enemy of SARS and police, they said the enemy of my enemy is my friend. For everyone who is listening, make friends with the guys in the military, especially make friends with the guy in the DSS. The guys in the DSS are the antidote to whatever nefarious activities the police are doing in Nigeria. And those are my own friends. So any day, at any time, they are at my beckon. I can call them anytime because I don't have any skeleton in my cupboard. Those who are avoiding avoiding DSS and Army, Navy, and Air Force is because they are guilty of the offense. So if you are not guilty, approach other sisters organizations, make friends with people in such organizations, so that anytime you are in such a situation, you can call them to come and rescue you out of such situation. And that would be my own suggestion.
Upemi, thank you so much for calling us. Upemi, though, is suggesting a solution that isn't tenable short term, not to talk about even long term. Do you know how many Nigerians there are? Do you know how many young Nigerians there are? How many of these young Nigerians have access to people in other security agencies? No. What we want is a situation where I don't need to know anybody in any other agency and I will be safe. I will interact with police and not be afraid that I'll die, and they'll throw my body over the bridge and nobody will know. They'll just think I'm missing. Come on, man. All right, let me give you a chance to win 10,000 naira, shall we?
This is Just a Minute on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
0700993993993. Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Hi.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah.
Are you here to play Just a Minute?
Oh, actually, was trying to comment on the program adjustment, but it's okay.
Okay.
I will let you play Just a Minute. My name is Adi.
Ade. So you're going to play Just a Minute then, huh?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm actually an Uber driver, and I wanted to talk concerning what that other Uber driver was saying.
No,
But,
let's
it's
just play
fine.
Just a Minute. It's past, yes.
All right.
All right, so your
thank
time has started.
This is Just a Minute.
Today is World What Day?
you. World Teachers Day.
That's correct. This week is World What Week?
Oh, skip, please.
Nigerians are trending a hashtag to end what police squad?
And I am enters. Hashtag enters.
Which government official ordered SARS patrols and checkpoints off the street yesterday?
The IGP.
Which elected official said police brutality is caused by a few bad eggs?
She's a female, and I think if I'm right, a female, and I think is a special assistant to the president.
Which elected official? That answer is not correct. Which opposition
Elected.
Yes, elected.
The vice president.
That's
The
correct.
vice president.
That's correct. Which opposition politician called SARS a tool of oppression?
Oh, skip this.
All right, your time is up. Congratulations. You have answered 4 questions correctly. Stay on the line so that we can get your details. Don't hang up. Stay on the line
right.
so that we can collect your details. All right, Lagos, thank you so much for being a part of Hard Facts today. Hard Facts returns tomorrow between 5 and 6. We're going to talk about the PNID case. We're going to talk about all the facts that you need to learn about the PNID case. We have conversations with Rufai coming up at 6:15 after the news at 6. The news comes your way from Wemimo Adoni. When she's done, she'll hand you over to Rufai for conversations. If you want to talk to me online, I am Sandra Ezekwesili on all social media platforms. You'll find that I'm actually currently trending on Twitter for something I said. But you can go check it out for yourself. S. Ezekwesili on Twitter. Instagram, S. Ezekwesili. Facebook, Sandra Ezekwesili. Until tomorrow, those are your hard facts, Lagos. Good night.
It's okay. That is okay. It's okay. Let me explain. No, it's okay. Let me explain. It's okay. It's okay. She. Off your mic.
On 99.3 Nigeria Info, your mic is always on. Let's talk.